I'm going to go through the red and black non-guild cards in Guilds of Ravnica. These are the cards that are not really specifically aligned with any one of the 5 guilds in the set. And this continues my previous video where I talked about the white and blue cards. So the Cosmopolitan Wave, it's Cosmotronic. I like to think of it as some other word than Cosmotronic Wave. Is a 4-drop common sorcery. And it deals 1 damage to each creature your opponents control, and they can't block. This can be really tricky against Ixalan cards, so you'd have to be careful. I think it's more like a Guilds of Ravnica only limited card. I'd have to be very careful. I would not want to play this against dinosaurs with Enrage. You're really giving your opponent a Fleet Enrage trigger. That's not very good. Command the Storm is a 5-drop instant, deals 5 damage to target creature. It's alright, maybe it's better in there's some kind of a storm combo going on in this set that I don't fully understand. And maybe in that combo it can work. But here, yeah, it's a Lava Spike, I think it was called, Lava Spike. Still an instant, that's fine. I would be much happier if it dealt it to the target creature or player. Book Devourer, I love the title. Love the title a lot. 6/4/5 Trampler, it's already kind of okay. When it deals combat damage to a player, you may discard all the cards in your hand, and if you draw that many cards, you'd have to know what you're doing. Maybe in an Izzet deck where you want to get all your jumpstart cards in the graveyard as soon as possible, you play that trick. So this thing would deal damage to the player. You would discard, say, 4 cards, draw 4 more. Boom! Out of those 4 cards, maybe you land 2 with Jumpstart in the graveyard, something like that. Yeah, I could see that being interesting. It's still a 6-drop though. I think this is going to be a casual trick. Torch Courier is a goblin. I already like it. 1/1/1 haste. I don't want to read the clause already, and I already like it. Then when you sack it, another target creature gains haste until end of turn. That can be very, very good. If you cast it early, you hit for 1, maybe once, maybe no more than once. And then you start casting your heavier creatures, and you've got something that's like a 4/4 flyer. You drop it, sack this, give it haste, boom, and you attack with it. I like it. Like it a lot. Sure Strike, limited battle trick for 2. Boost the creature by 3, and it gives it first strike. Yeah, limited battle trick. The Boar is a 4/3/3. When it enters the battlefield, another target creature, maybe this creature gets +2/+0, but this one doesn't have haste, so you would give it to something that can already attack. Yeah, it's a nice battle trick. Love my goblins. The Ornery Goblin is a 2/2/1. When it blocks or becomes blocked, it deals 1 damage to that creature. It better not be a dinosaur with Enrage again. So I see this more as a card that's going to be most useful in Guilds of Ravnica Limited. Even if it's a goblin, and I would love to put all the goblins in standard right now into some sort of a casual, fun commander deck. Maniacal Rage 2-drop aura gives it +2/+2 and cannot block. Yeah. You know, these cards are available. In my sealed pull, I try to do something other than having to enchant something. I'd rather just have the creature itself be good. But if that's not the case, then I would play this. Goblin Locksmith. I would love to have this artwork on a playmat. This has to be one of the most fun artworks I've ever seen on any card. I mean, look at the dude. He's a locksmith, but he already punched through the door. He doesn't need to do anything with the lock, but he's a locksmith. That's great. I love this artwork. I mean, cracks me up, man. I want a playmat with this artwork. All right. So beyond that, it's a 2/2/1, and when it attacks, creatures with Defender can't block this turn. That's fine. Not gonna be that many creatures with Defender. Yes, there's an Arcadis deck with a bunch of Defender cards. And yeah, people can play Defender, but yeah, I don't know. It's alright. I don't think it's anything special, except for the artwork. The Urchin is a 2/1/3, so it's got a fat butt. Trampler. You want trample with something that has a big attack power. So this one's going to play into the instants and sorceries thing that has going. So yeah, if you cast one of those, then it'll become a 2/3. But trample even at 2, I don't know. Then the halberdier is a 3/3/2 vanilla. Street Riot, which I don't know if it's a reprint. It sounds familiar, but I could be wrong. Is a 5-drop enchantment. It's not going to do much for you. I think a 5-drop enchantment needs to do a heck of a lot more than giving +1/+0 and trample to your creatures as long as it's your turn. It's there. I love Minotaurs. I really want to build a nice, fun Commander Minotaur deck. And this would be one of them. It's a 3/2/3 and it's part of the instance of sorcery spells trick. Target creature or an opponent controls can't block this turn. So I'm reading it as it can be used multiple times. So it's whenever. So if you cast one instant, you can neutralize, you can make one creature not block. Then you cast another instant, you can say, oh, this other creature doesn't block. I think I'm reading it correctly. It looks good. Lava Coil, 2-drop, sorcery, deals 4 damage to target creature. And if it would die, exile it. It's alright. In the era of Battle Cruiser, that's fine. I mean, it is 4 damage. It can take out something medium-sized or less. That's great. The Blaze is a 6-drop. It's a little too heavy, even though it cannot be countered. I would love someday to build a green cannot be countered deck to play in Legacy, because if it can't be countered, no number of Force of Will cards that your opponent controls will do anything against it. Yeah, I'd love to see the day when we have, maybe it would be a green-red deck. This would be one of the cards in it. Deals 6 damage to any target. That includes the player. Sure. Yeah, why not? It reads to me like a card for another day rather than now, but anyways. The Whelp is a 5/3/3 flyer. That's kind of weak. When it attacks, it deals 1 damage to target creature defending player controls. That's alright. Nothing special in my opinion. It's a dragon. Yeah. Goblin Crater Maker is a 2/2/2. And for 1, you can choose 1. And you can do it multiple times, I think. So if you had like 5 mana, you can hit each one of those as many times as you want. I like that a lot. I think this card is very strong as I read it. It can take out anything that's colorless, that's a non-land permanent. That's fantastic. I mean, you know, it can take out a gigantic artifact. It can take out even a colorless planeswalker. It can take out a Karn. Can take out vehicles. Can take out a lot of stuff. It's actually a pretty good hoser for anything that's an artifact in standard, any format. And if you have multiple mana, you can just ping for 2 multiple times. I think that's fantastic, if I'm reading it correctly. Then Electrostatic Field, so wall, defender, doesn't have flying. I always look for that. 2/0/4. And whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, it pings each opponent for 1. I like that. I mean, I can see doing that many, many times in a game, and the incremental cost just adding up over time and giving me an edge. That's pretty good, even if it does not have flying. Let me make sure I didn't skip one. Okay. Yeah. Then the Runaway Steamkin is a 2/1/1, and it's got this counters thing going on. So whenever you cast a red spell, it's going to get a counter. If it's got fewer than 3 counters. So if it's got 1, 0, 1, or 2. Okay. And then at some point, that's it. You top it. So it never gets beyond a 2/3/3. You can also put counters on it using other cards. And then it'll become a recycling factory for counters. So, yeah. So you're going to have to figure another way to get it to 3 +1/+1 counters, because by itself it's fewer than 3 counters. Oh, no, that's fine, that's fine. It'll get to 3 because at one point it'll have 2, that's fewer than 3, and you'll put the last one. Yeah, so the most it'll have by itself is 3, and you can get the 3 red mana for doing something else. But also, if you come up with ways to put counters on it, then you can just use multiples of 3 counters to get 3 red mana. That's pretty good. I'd love to make some sort of a combo with it where I put a gazillion counters on it and then just generate a ton of red mana. I want to do that. Experimental Frenzy, I actually discuss it in detail in the next video. This is actually a replacement video for the original one that I made that only had white in one video, and then in the other one I have blue, red, black. But for some reason it lacked audio. Now I'm remaking these 2 videos and the Golgari video to have audio. So I'm not going to discuss it now because it's discussed in the next video with the green and artifacts and lands. The beginning of it is Experimental Frenzy compared to Future Sight as well. So, but it's still really good. I'll tell you right now, I love the card. I want to play it very badly. I hope it's a junk rare so I can play it, because I don't want to pay a lot of money for cards. The Cyclops is a 4/08. It's got a gigantic butt. It's got trample. And then when it's part of the instants and sorceries thingy, it'll get +X+0, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. So say you cast a 3 CMC counter spell. This card gets 3/8. But if you do a lot of sorceries before your combat phase, say you drop instant and sorcery that combine are CMC 5, then it's a 4 or 5/8. It can be a lot more, but you know that's hard because you got to have the mana and you have to cast all those things. I think it requires too much setting up, even though I like it a lot. I like it because I like Johnny cards, but the setup is too much, in my opinion. The Phoenix is a 4/3/2 flyer haste. That's already alright, but it's a mythic rare, so the claws better be good. So end of combat on your turn. If you cast 3 or more instant or sorcery spells, you can return this from the graveyard to the battlefield. I think that's almost next to impossible to do most of the time. 3 or more instant or sorcery spells and sorcery spells. Frankly, this card does not read mythic to me. I can be wrong. I'm not seeing it. Okay, so that's it for this video. That would have been the end in the original video that I made. And in the next video, I'm going to discuss this card, Experimental Frenzy. And I'm going to compare it to Future Sight. And I'll stop right here.